One of the key concerns for many during the Brexit negotiations was trying to ensure that the border in Ireland remains as free and frictionless as it currently is. And that meant that in many ways that border had to move to the Irish Sea. Now, there were strong objections from unionists in Northern Ireland about the prospect of essentially an internal border between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. But it is something that the UK government does seem now to have had to accept, that there will be checks on some goods flowing between Great Britain and Northern Ireland, that there will be extra customs posts and indeed inspections, and that Northern Ireland itself, Rosie, may have to adhere to state aid rules that apply to the rest of the EU. Now, clearly, unionists aren't happy with this, but that is currently where we're at. And as you say, this was part of a legal draft document positioned by the UK yesterday, which set out essentially what it wants to see in these talks during the transition period. It wants to see different deals done at different times with different oversights on things like fisheries, security, transport, and on trade. The EU, of course, wants to see an overarching deal with a level playing field, and that has a special deal for Britain that is not like any other trade deal with other countries because of the UK's size and close proximity to the European Union. There is one more round of talks next month before a decision has to be made on whether an extension to the transition at the end of the year is possible. The UK government has constantly ruled this out, and many think that we are leading towards a no-deal scenario where the UK will simply not leave with a trade deal at the end of this year. Though many would suggest that this is all political theatre and that ultimately it will come down to the politics later on this year, maybe in the autumn when EU leaders and Boris Johnson get involved, that is the real likelihood of a deal. But at the moment, it's all pretty tense. And looking at those exchange of letters, pretty frosty too.